All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bashim Shavu Habakakadash. Double honors to apostles, a great millstone, and salutations to your elect, which we hope to be. It's your brother Hawaii. I got a quick lesson for you Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelites about the shame of looking like heathens. The spirit of witness that they're a child of Heavenly Father. In the name of the Heavenly Father, is Yahweh, who the world only called Jehovah God, Yahweh. In the name of the Son, is Yahweh Shai, who the world only called Jesus Christ, and it's Christos and Yeshua. I got a quick lesson. Any other precepts come out, you already know it's the Holy Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit, whether you believe it or not. And I'm just going to go into a little bit of First Kings, the 22nd chapter, because more and more, like when we get into the story, more and more and stuff, I'm seeing how the people are like this. It don't matter what your status is, if you got a grand status or low status and stuff, or even intermediate status and stuff. The thing is, and when I say status and stuff, I'm saying, whatever your situation is or how people look at you and whatnot and stuff, right? Or whatever your circumstances is, really, pretty much. And the thing is, that can come with titles, you know what I'm saying, or how a person looks at you, even though I say that already. But the thing is, what I'm noticing, what I'm noticing is that, uh, more and more for the story and stuff that I'm finna go into, I see it more and more upon the people, and that the people are being misled, you know, misled. And the thing is that you have there's a demon and stuff that's doing that. There's a demon that's doing that. Now, what I want to say is that you know there's possibilities out there, but people don't think of it in that way. A lot of people and stuff want to be very, very sure and whatnot and stuff, and really what that is that pride, And for brothers and stuff with great millstone, you know what I'm saying, for the different teachers and stuff that we learn, it's that pride and stuff. It's one hell of a drug. You know what I'm saying? It's very addictive, and it also sneak up on you like gin and juice. You see, you know, you know, female can drink her a couple of mimosas and be like, this ain't really doing nothing. Drink a couple more. Next 5 to 7 minutes and stuff, she slapped. You know what I'm saying? Because it's sweet, especially if you're using pineapple juice and with some gin mixed in or various things and stuff. But with gin, it already got like a sweet taste to it. And to me, pineapple juice, it could be pineapple orange too, but more likely pineapple juice with some gin, it tastes like a fruit gusher to me, you know. And the thing is that it's sweet. You still taste the gin a little bit, but it's more like a sugar. It tastes like a sugary drink. So you'll drink it, and nothing will really happen and whatnot. But you got to wait for it to kick in. And if you don't know better, it's gonna kick. It's gonna kick you in your ass. You know what I'm saying? So then it's the same way when it comes down to these people's pride. Even if we warn them, even if the Lord shows them, you know what I'm saying, so they can be aware. A lot of people stuff love this, so they can't get told anything. You see, right? So this is First Kings chapter 22, verse 1. It says, and they continued 3 years without war between Syria and Israel. It says, and it came to pass in the third year that Jehoshaphat, Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, came down to the king of Israel. It says, and the king of Israel said unto his servants, know ye that Ramoth and Gilead is ours? It says, and we be still and take it not out of the hand of the king of Syrians. So it was land that the king of Israel wanted. So verse 4 it says, and he said unto Jehoshaphat, wilt thou go with me to battle to Ramoth Gilead? And Jehoshaphat said to King Israel, it says, I am as thou art, my people as thy people, my horses as thy horses. So pretty much we gonna team up. You know what I'm saying, right? What's mine is yours and stuff when it comes down to the speed that you're looking for, right? Like it says, verse 5. says verse 5. It says, and Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, inquire, I pray thee. It says, at the word of the Lord Yahweh. It says to today. It says, and the king of Israel gathered the prophets together. You know what I'm saying? Because what was used and stuff was human thummim. You know what I'm saying? Today's human doing and stuff is the internet. Today's human doing and stuff is the internet, right? But back then it was the crystal ball and stuff used in righteousness. It says, it says, so pretty much anytime somebody had done something and stuff, or they would, before they had made the move and stuff, they acquire of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Now these kings of Israel, where they ruled over provinces, a prophet and stuff was still needed because a prophet was, I guess you could say, higher ranking and stuff than the actual king of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Right? Right. So it says, verse 5. Verse 6, it says, then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, about 400 men. It says, and said unto them, shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, go up, for the Lord shall deliver it into thy hand of the king. Verse 7, it says, and Jehoshaphat said, is there not here a prophet of the Lord, besides that we might inquire of him? It says, and the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man, it's like it's I think it's Micaiah. Sounds like Micaiah, right? I'm gonna get it in the Hebrew. And it's word Micaiah, right? Right? As you all look at it. And it says, what was I? Verse 8, it says, and the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man, Micaiah. It says, it's like it for the wheel. See if I can find a good spot. It's like it. So verse 8. It says, and the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man, Micaiah, it says the son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire of the Lord, but I hate him, for he doeth not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat, well, so like it, Jehoshaphat said, let not the king say so. You know what I'm saying, right? So he already had 400 prophets, and they was like, yeah, you gonna give Ramoth Gilead and stuff. But then there was one prophet where it's like, nah, he always sit up here and say something bad, right? And it says, verse 9, it says, then the king of Israel called an officer and said, hasten hither Micaiah the son of Imlah. It says, and the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat the king of Judah sat each on his throne, having put on their robes in a void place in the entrance of the gate of Samaria. It says, and in Samaria, I'm pretty sure that it's north from Samaria and stuff is north from uh, Samaria is north of Jerusalem, or vice versa. Salaki, if I got it twisted. But and it says, and all the prophets prophesied before them. It says, and Zedekiah the son of uh, Hananiah It says, made him horns of iron, and he said, thus saith the Lord. It says, with these shalt thou push the Syrians until thou hast consumed them. It says, and all the prophets prophesied, so saying, go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper. It says, for the Lord shall deliver it into the king's hand. Right, right. And it says, verse 13, it says, and the messenger that was gone to call Micaiah spake unto him, saying, behold, now the words of the king prophets, it's like it, the words of the prophets declare good unto the king, which with one mouth, meaning it was on the same accord, said all the same things. It says, let thy word, I pray thee, be like the word of one of them, and speak that which is good. And Micaiah said, as the Lord liveth, what the Lord Yahweh saith unto me, Yahweh saith unto me, that will I speak. So he already declared, it's like, look, you know, you asking what should happen and whatnot and stuff, or I should receive a message and stuff from the Lord for what you trying to do. Well, whatever I tell you, guess what? That's what the Lord said. You see, right? And it says, verse 15. Come on, bro. What else? It says, verse 15, it says, so he came to the king, and the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall we forbear? And he answered him, go and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. It says, and the king said unto him, it says, how many times shall I adjure thee that thou tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of the Lord? It said, verse 17. It says, and he said, it says, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills as sheep that have not a shepherd. You know what I'm saying? Shepherd is the leader of the sheep, right? It says, and this is a vision, it says, and the Lord said, these have no master, let them return every man to his house in peace. Verse 18, it says, and the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil? And it says, verse 19, meaning he was going to lose the battle. Verse 19, it says, and he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord, Yahweh, Hashem Yashai, sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand. It says, and on his left. It says, verse 20, it says, and the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab? It says, and the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? It says, and one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. So the Lord was asking the angels, who gonna send King Ahab off? You know why? Because he wasn't listening. You see, you know, he was too proud in his might. You know what I'm saying? And when he was asking, when Jehoshaphat had done the right thing, it was like, you know what, let's inquire of the Lord and see if this is going to be prosperous or unsuccessful. Should we go or shouldn't we go? You know what I'm saying, right? Should we do something or shouldn't we do something, right? And you had 400 prophets and stuff that was like, yeah, everything's going to be all good and whatnot and stuff. And then it was not all the prophets and stuff. So then what they did and stuff is that they had gotten them one of those prophets and stuff, right? Got one of the other prophets and whatnot and stuff, and he's saying something else, right? So the first thing he said was this: that guess what? Uh, 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 first thing he said was like, look, what I tell you, the Lord telling me. That's why you inquire of me, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? It's like whatever the Lord tell me, that's what it's gonna be. Thus saith the Lord. So here it is. King Ahab and stuff didn't like what he heard, right? Right. So the Lord was like, "Oh, you don't want to listen. So who gonna persuade? Who gonna persuade King Ahab? You know what I'm saying? Meaning to send him off. Meaning, like in the cartoons, you'll have a angel on one shoulder and a devil on another shoulder. You know what I'm saying, right? And they are what they do when it come down to indecisiveness. Since they was inquiring of a prophet's answer and whatnot, and then you had so many that were saying yes, but then you had so many that you had one that said no. You know what I'm saying, right? The thing is that it was an indecisive answer and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord like, hey, King Ahab, he ain't listening. You know what I'm saying, right? He ain't listening. He's not even considering. You know what I'm saying, right? So it says, verse 21. It says, and there came forth a spirit. Uh, Read 20. It says, and the Lord Yahweh Shah said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. It says, and there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. It said, meaning an angel. It says, because you know, it says, and the Lord said unto him, wherewith, meaning how, it says, and he said, it says, I will go forth and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of in the mouth of all his prophets. It says, and he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also go and prevail, prevail also go forth and do so. Verse 23, it says, now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord has spoken evil concerning thee. So while this was going on, what I'm saying, while this was going on and whatnot, this was the council of the angels and stuff. While King Ahab wasn't taking no consideration. You know what I'm saying? Because he was engulfed in his pride and stuff because of the power between him and Judah. It's like, look, we take over them, right? And it says, verse 24. It says, but Zedekiah the son Hananiah, Slakia, Hanana, it says, went near and smote Micaiah on the cheek and said, so pretty much punched him, slapped him, however way it happened, smoked him on the cheek and said, which way went the spirit of the Lord from me to speak unto thee? It says, and Micaiah said, uh, 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 behold, thou shalt see in that day when thou shalt go into an inner chamber to hide thyself. Verse 26, it says, and the king of Israel said, take Micaiah and carry him back unto Ammon. It says, the governor of the city, and to Joash, the king's son. It says, and say, thus saith the king, put this fellow in the prison. It says, and feed him with bread of affliction. It says, and with water of affliction until I come in peace. So pretty much it was like, since the prophet Malachi didn't didn't agree with the rest of the 400 prophets, it was like, he got hidden in the face. You know what I'm saying? And then he was sent off to prison and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Until he came back and whatnot. Until he came back, right? Right. Verse 20. The scripture says, "I give my prophets no harm." But you see what they did and stuff when they didn't want to hear what they wanted to hear, right? So it says, verse 28. It says, and Micaiah said, "If thou return at all in peace, the Lord have not spoken by me." Now remember, the Lord, he said it before. He said that what I tell you, the Lord is telling you. You know what I'm saying, right? Thus saith the Lord, right? Bear with me. Because the spirits and stuff, they tend to come around and stuff. Some spiritual is happening. So it's First Kings 22 and 27 again. It says and say, thus saith the king, put this fellow in the prison and feed him with bread of affliction and with water of affliction until I come in peace, pretty much to try to punish him because he didn't like what he heard. Verse 28, it says, and Micaiah said, if thou return at all in peace, the Lord have not spoken by me. And he said, hearken, O people, every one of you. Verse 29, because the Lord gave him a vision on what was going to go down, and that wasn't enough for a warning. That wasn't enough for a warning. So it says, verse 29, it says, so the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, king of Israel is King Ahab at this time. It says, so the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, went up to Ramoth Gilead. It says, and the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself and enter into battle. So he was scared. It says, but put thou on thy robes. And the king of Israel disguised himself and went into the battle. It says, but the king of Syria commanded his 32 captains that had rule over his chariots. It says, saying, fight neither with small nor great, save only with the king of Israel. So, like I read that again. And it says, verse 31, it says, but the king of Syria commanded his 32 captains. It says that had rule over his chariots, saying, fight neither with small nor great, save only with the king of Israel. So this is uh, uh, the one stuff who's the Syrians and stuff where it's like just don't fight nobody else, just go after the king, right? Like chess. Don't worry about the pawns. If there's a way and stuff for you to get the to get the king and whatnot stuff, checkmate, right? So verse 33, it says, and it came to pass when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, that they turned back from pursuing him. It says, and a certain man drew a bow at a venture and smote the king of Israel between the joints. It says of the harness. It says wherefore he said unto the driver of his chariot, turn thine hand and carry me out of the host. It said, for I am wounded. It says, and the battle increased that day, and the king was stayed up in his chariot against the Syrians and died at even. You know what I'm saying? At sundown. It says, and the blood ran out of the wound into the midst of the chariot. Now, the prophet Micaiah is like, look, you're not going to return. You see? Right? And it says, verse 36, and all those different things and stuff. Because remember, the time frame. But matter of fact, let me see if I can get it right quick. Where was I? 35. Bear with me. This is 3. This Second Peter is 3 and 8. It says, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years. It says, and 1,000 years as one day. So when it comes down to the time, yeah, look, when it comes down to the time, uh 1,000 years for us is just one day to him. You see. And then I remember the brother. He made a post. He had made a post and stuff. He was like, he had made a post. Uh, uh, he had made a post where it's like, think about it. You know, for a long period of time, or we see time that's being stretched out and stuff. It's like things taking forever. You know what I'm saying? It's like how think about all the different times and stuff that you war for, you sin and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Willingly or unknowingly. You know You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that look how the Lord looking at it and stuff. And his spirit and stuff is like in the spiritual realm, in the spiritual realm and stuff, it's like, damn, they ass keep going off. You know what I'm saying? It's like I want to say it like this, like black cats. You know what I'm saying? The fireworks and whatnot, they start off a little bit and stuff, but then it starts speeding up. You know, that's Jake in their sense. You see? And when I say Jake, I'm talking about Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelites who outward appearance instead of a heathen. Spirit of witness that the child have been fought. Right? Right? So the thing is that the point that I'm making and stuff is that during those things and stuff, while Micaiah the prophet and stuff was giving warning onto King Ahab, right? Giving warning onto King Ahab. The thing is that King Ahab and stuff did not want to pay attention. He didn't want to pay attention at all. He didn't want to pay attention at all. And while he was doing all those evil things and stuff onto Micaiah, you know what I'm saying? Uh, The Lord put the spirit on Micaiah to let him know it's like, look, if you return peacefully, meaning you come back alive, then guess what? The Lord has not spoken by me because we already saw his vision. That guess what, nigga, you was gonna lose if you go, right? You was gonna lose if you go, and then secondly and stuff, he was warned. You see, right? He was warned. He was warned. You know what I'm saying? And since he didn't want to hear what he had to say and stuff, he ain't just let him go. He got punched in the face, or he got smote in the face and whatnot, however way that it happened. And then at the same time and stuff, they put him in prison. So while that was going on, you know what I'm saying? Remember, it's a shorter period of time and stuff when it come down to the Lord and the spirit world. You know what I'm saying? The angels, the Lord is like, look, who got a plan and stuff to do King Ahab in since he don't want to listen. So I'm gonna go back to it's back in First Kings chapter 22 verse 35. It says, "And the battle increased that day, and the king was stayed upon in his chariot against the Syrians, and died at even." It says, "And the blood ran out of the wound into the midst of the chariot." It says, "And there went a proclamation." It says throughout the host about the going down of the sun, saying, "Every man to his city, and every man to his own country," just like the prophet had said. You know what I'm saying? The sheep was going to be without shepherd. And it says verse 37, it says, "So the king died and was brought to Samaria, and they buried the king in Samaria." It says, and one washed the chariot in the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood. It says, "And they washed his armor according unto the word of the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Yashai, which he spake." It says, now the rest of the acts of king, so pretty much that's the point, because it's going to tell you stuff that the rest of the acts is in the book of Chronicles. You know what I'm saying? Right? So when it comes down to it and stuff, how I started off, a lot of you people and stuff are prideful. So when you get warning and whatnot, you don't consider it. Matter of fact, let me grab that. It's Isaiah 1 and 3. It's Isaiah, it's Isaiah 1 and 3. It's Isaiah 1 and 3. It says, "The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master crib. But Israel doeth not know, my people do not consider." And that's a lot of you all. It's a word by Yun, and it means I understand, distinguish, consider, perceive. You know, I say it like this. In the movie Lion King, right? In the movie Lion King, uh, uh, in the movie Lion King, We know that when Mufasa and stuff was still alive, and pretty much what happened, uh, Zazu, his attendant, he was like, "Oh, look, sire, the herd is on the move." And when Mufasa had turned around and stuff, he was like, "All right." And the thing is that he was considering. Well, guess what? A lot of you people don't do that. You jump to conclusions and whatnot based off what's cringy and stuff to your mind and stuff. So therefore, you don't really understand when it comes down to the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Stuff can be taken out of proportion, you know? Because even when like I was watching the video when it come down to Apostle Sahar, and I know the people that be spying, the nearby spies and whatnot and stuff, I know they was looking in and got the tripping and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that uh, uh, the understanding of the scriptures is being given. That's it. It doesn't mean that someone's going to act on it. You know what I'm saying? Depending on certain things, but they're not going to receive it like that and stuff. They're going to be like, see, he believes in the Bible and stuff. So therefore, whoop de whoop. And they're going to do that to all of us. They're going to do that to all of us. You know what I'm saying? You got hard scriptures and stuff like, you got certain topics, then there's certain scriptures or certain chapters that you can read and stuff, and you'll be like, does this mean what I think it means? And then next, they get offended. They get offended, which also shows that they're not blessed. Scripture says, blessed is he that's not offended in me. You know what I'm saying? Right? But they're gonna be offended and whatnot and stuff, and with them not being able to receive it, they're gonna make actions within their pride. And then guess what? A lot of us represent my Chai, the prophet. Now, there's going to be good things and stuff that's going to happen too. Don't get me wrong. But we're not preaching prosperity doctrine because that's not what's going to happen. You see, prosperity is going to come after the danger and the trouble passes when it ends. You see? So when it comes down to a lot of you people and whatnot and stuff, you know, your different statuses or how you being looked upon, guess what? A lot of shit is going over your head. And guess what? It's crucial. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because a lot of you all are more carnal than spiritual minded. A lot of you all think spiritual minded and stuff is just burning some white sage and you good. No. Or burning some fucking incense and stuff and you're a guru now. No. A lot of you all do not have the practice of being in the spirit. Maybe you had some spiritual things and stuff that was going on before and whatnot and stuff, but more than likely it's left hand side and stuff and it's according to this world. You know what I'm saying? Or it's just fake because spirituality and stuff and all these different deities and stuff is really demonic. It's not righteous. You see, you know. So yeah. So pretty much when it comes down to it, and one other thing and stuff that he also said. Well, no, that's different. That's different. I'm gonna do that different. A different sit down on that one. But I hope this video was edifying. I'd like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahshua, Harakat. Double honors to apostles, a great millstone, and salutations to your elect, which we hope to be. Shalom, with Bob, Kwam Yasharala.